What up, you two? How are we all doing? This is not what you think. That's actually a beer and we're going to be drinking it. It's not something that's like that. Don't be doing that. This one is a cherry beer. How responsible was me to do that? Was responsible? I need to choose my words a bit more carefully, right? Cherry beer. Anyway, we're looking at the XS Max iPhone, and it's the follow-on from the previous video, part 1. Well, this one's part 2, and I happen to have a cherry beer. That's why I wrapped that in paper. There's nothing on the bottle. Okay, let's get this thing opened and poured out. Then we'll have a look at the situation with that iPhone. So with lighter, stay away from the implant in the hand. Lighter under that. Boink. Tops off. Pour beer into here. Cool, look at the colour of that. That's angry red, that. Good. It tastes weird. It smells like dish soap. Tastes like sort of the shit you'd put in agricultural machinery. Tastes like red diesel. Looks like red diesel. Aftertaste not too bad. Alright, cool. Might need this to actually keep our hands steady. I really shouldn't be putting this near tens of thousands of pounds worth of machinery, but such as our life choices. Anyway, let me just pause this out quickly and we'll have a look at what's going on. Right, so, oh shit, as I kick the camera over. Now, this is something interesting as well, because talking to the camera, I can't move it at the moment because I busted it. I broke one of the adapters I normally have for it. Accidentally kicked the fucking thing over. As you do. Right, anyway, waffle, let's get into it. This is to do with the iPhone XS Max. That wonderful introduction. Now the story with this, alright, well, it's actually a little bit more damaged than people realised. Actually, it's like completely fucked. Alright. Story with this is, in the previous video, we actually had it powered up and it still does power up and work. The touchscreen, however, doesn't. So, I had to go out and buy a whole bunch of tools to potentially sort the situation out. And, yeah, it's pretty dire at this stage, because we've had to get a reballing stencil. I'm going to try not to knock that over. Right, sodding mouse. And we've had to get some other bits and pieces as well. There's our True Tone iCopy for copy paste. That doesn't do anything here, but we've had to buy this thing as well. That's basically a heating platform. That is because the logic boards inside those phones in here are double stacked, meaning they're soldered together. Meaning essentially this: you have a bottom board and they solder on a top board. And that's basically how the situation is. So, what we've had to do is fire up our old microscope before we go much further. Because I wanted to see just how deep the damage goes before we actually do anything about it. Alright. So, what you can see under that microscope at the moment is the old screen. That does become relevant here because you remember in the previous video that I needed to copy True Tone over. Well, all the screen data and stuff like that. Oh, I've lost my fucking pointing tool. What have I done with that? I hope I notched that one out because that's gonna. Yeah, I was. That would bloody hurt. Right. So, you need True Tone from your iCopy. Yeah, so if you smash your screen, you need to lift the data off those chips to put onto your new screen. Now, I know that it's not a screen problem for a couple of reasons. Well, yeah, 2 reasons. I tried 2 separate screens. That's actually quite a brutal beer, that. Alright, so tried 2 separate screens from Phone Fun Shop after speaking to a great guy called Caden. Right. We spoke about this at length on the phone, and I think it was another guy, Seb, and between us and I think a couple of other people, we came to a sensible solution. Try to reflow the logic board and see what happens. Because bear in mind, I've never dealt with the XS Maxes before. Fucking hell, I can't even pronounce me words now. I'm drinking something that looks like a cross between my Diesel and Dot 4. Wow. It tastes just as bad as well. Sort of do get the cherry in it, but not much. That's 5.8 for you. Voltage. 5.8 volt. Anyway, so what we decided to do is to verify whether or not the iCopy would work anyway. So, our old screen here, as you can see, we can bang this under a microscope, and this is what I'm going to show you, and then we're going to look at the logic board. This is a valid point here, actually, on this. The reason being is, if ever you smash your screen on your XS Max or higher, in fact, even on, I think it's iPhone 7, it's still applicable. You need to copy the data off of those chips there onto your new screen. Otherwise, yeah, you can eventually get problems with it, especially with firmware updates and things like that. You should need the serial numbers off of there to match off of those chips to match the ones on the logic board and all of the other calibration software. Apparently, I've not really looked into this an awful bunch, but that's what you've nowadays got to do. And the alert among you will know that at the top I've already removed the earpiece and other components there. As I said, I've never done anything with the XS Maxes before. This is completely new to me. In fact, actually, the level of repair that I have to go on to with this potentially is entirely new. It just goes to show you that you can't be born with all the knowledge. Right? You don't know everything. You've actually still got to learn in life, no matter what. And it's even worse in this industry, because everything is changing week by week. Pretty much. Wait to see what happens with the iPhone X3 that they're bringing out. Oh, yeah. And I might have some news on that up and coming. I don't think they're going to call it the iPhone 13. I think it might be the X3. Wink, wink. But we'll have to see. Might be right, might be wrong. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, so we need to get this under a microscope to verify that our iCopy actually would have legitimately worked. But it's kind of irrelevant anyway, because 2 other screens that are brand new didn't. You see, like we said, that metadata on there kind of only is relevant in the long run. Let's get this under a microscope and see what we find. Because I think I can visually see something quite disturbing now. Let's have a look. Let's get it under the scope well and see where we go. That's obviously what I've removed. Made a right bollocks up of that. Okay, that's heat shielding there. And ribbon cable seems fine, so that's good for the minute. Well, it's actually a flex cable, ribbon cable, whatever, but yeah, it seems fairly reasonable. Can't complain with that. Let's check out the one for the touch. Yeah, that's bob on that. No problems there at all. Let's try and get it into the middle. Should be somewhere there. Yeah, that's fine. There's no problem with that flex whatsoever. Let's have a look at the chip for that. As you can see here, no problem. We're happy with that. That's all good. This, however, is a problem. I don't know if you were able to pick this up. I think you should be able to if I tilt that at an angle. There's a dent right there. And that is interesting. Because that is on the underside of the phone. I'm just wondering what would have caused it. That would have been there, as you see. So that's the phone, obviously that's the screen, so it's something on the inside. Let's get this under the microscope and see where we go. We need to check all this over anyway to make sure it's a viable repair in the first place. Anything that's gone wrong with Face ID, like a smashed crystal, kind of means it's not good. Let's start at the top end of the phone. So we're going to go from the top and we're going to work our way down. Like you do when you're checking a nice hot person out. Wink, wink. Right, so here to get my calibration right. You'll see it moving around there. You'll see it here. That's just the adhesive. It's pretty much just that. It's all that adhesive. When you do a screen replacement, all of that essentially has to come up. It's disgusting. Just going to show you under a microscope how filthy that is. That's that rubber sort of glue sealant. I think we might be able to lift some of that up just to show you. There you far. Not going to really go too far into doing this. Sort of get an idea of kind of what you have to go through. Anyway, we're going to look at the Face ID. Let's check that camera out. Yeah, that seems okay. Yeah, that's fine. Second one. Not sure about that. That might be broken. Not sure. Don't know if that actually is. It looks cracked. Might be. Not sure. Okay. What about the crystal? This is the important part with your Face ID. But that crystal, if I can get it into the middle here. Yeah. As you can see, shimmering away just nicely. It's right there. I don't want to touch it because that is super fragile. That's intact. Little bit of cleaner on that and I think we'll be fine. There's more of that yucky gunk. But yeah, alright. Seems okay. Let's check over some of our connectors then. And yeah, no signs of any screws that are sheared off. Let's double check over here as well. In fact, let me just clear that out. Tell you what though, I am impressed by that beer. It's made my hands rather bloody steady. I can assure you that. I need to get my tweezers out to clear most of that out. Yeah, okay. I'm fairly happy with that. Just scrape away some more of this crud. Yeah, alright, fine. Okay, cool. Let's move on to down here then. None of those screws seem sheared off. Not sure what's going on under here. I think this is for our signal board at this point, under there. Let's see if we can let me into view. Yeah, nothing seems broken there, so that's fine. And the side housing there, and other than this nasty sort of horribly disgusting mess, not really an awful lot to be said. So let's flip the phone around, check down the sides. Okay, good. Let's go for our main connectors now. Here's where things do get interesting. I think this is just usually a scratch off protective sort of shield that's there. I think you usually can scratch that off. Yeah, I don't think that's going to affect an awful lot. Otherwise these connectors seem fine. That's our Face ID crystal there, as we said. What about our connector for our Face ID for the module, which will go here? Oh, there might be something going on there actually. There might be. And if you can see it, it's near that pin. Right there. Might need to address that. There's something going on with that one. That's some kind of physical damage that's happened there. When I get hold of another better microscope, I'm going to have a look at that more. It might just be that there's something covering it, like some dirt or something. I don't know if touching it is going to do anything. I really need some IPA cleaner on that. Run that tool across those pins very carefully. It doesn't feel broken. So I think that's probably fine. Okay, let's just move on. That's something to come back to. That's all of this though. That's all going to have to come out. All of that stuff, I'm going to have to clean all of that out. Definitely. As you can see, that's all going to have to come out. Yeah. Right, okay, moving on. Screw threads there for the logic board seem okay. That's fine. No things that are sheared off or broken off in any of these pots. Nothing like that. Nothing broken in that. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine as well. No problem there. Let's move on. Let's have a look at where our AMOLED screen would plug in, which is what you can see there. Let me get this into the middle. Bear with me. That's it right there in the middle. That's where our AMOLED screen would plug in. Again, yeah, I can't feel anything broken there. I'm not sure what's going on here though. I think we're going to need to get some cleaner in that. Definitely. doesn't look like anything too bad. Okay, let's tidy that image up a bit. So knock down the brightness. Doesn't look too bad. That resolution is shit. I need to buy another microscope then. Bloody better than this. I can't even get the resolution on this right now. That's it. It was. So, correct a bit. Yeah, those pins on the actual display are fine. So let's move on. Here's where we do get sort of interesting though, is where we're looking at the touch connector. This is for the touch function on the screen. And that's it right there. Can we get this zoomed in? Probably not. Adjusting the brightness. Nope. Alright, I might actually have to adjust this in a minute. Okay. I'm going to have to adjust this. Fine. I would pause this, but given the fact that most of my videos are quite long, I think we can make an allowance for this. Let's just move that board out of the way. Pull the camera down, because if I slip, I don't want to end up winging the camera through the logic board. That would be sadness, wouldn't it? Let's get that back under there again. Ah, that's much better, isn't it? That's better. Right. And already I can see potential problems. Already, and it's quite fatal. Potentially. It absolutely is. If we can get zoomed on this more. I think we need to come down a bit more on this. Let's try that. Let's get that back under there. And readjust. Ah, that's much better. That's what we like. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this properly. Okay, right. So this, what you're looking at there, is our touch connector. That gold rectangular thing there with all these pins on it. Well, I'm not sure what the fuck is going on at the bottom end of that, because in fact I might be better off just pointing on the screen. There might be parts missing. I can't be certain of that. I need circuit board schematics, but it looks like something's been broken off. That looks like something's been broken off there. That's definitely something that's broken off. Definitely. It's looking it. Unless that is just the fact that needs some cleaning. It's It's right there. That looks broken off. I need to check schematics for that. Right. Right. Okay. But it does get more serious, actually, because there is something else I've just found. Trying to get this into the right position is going to be fun. Alright, okay, yeah, you got to go in sort of reverse. That's... You need to get it... No, it's not there. Where have I gone with this? Hang on. Bloody bout. That's it. There you are. There's your problem. That's what I reckon it is. And it's definitely a board separation job. The fucking problem is right down there. All that in there is bent. You can see it here. All that is in there is bent. And I'm wondering if down there it's broken. It's all in there. That's completely distorted. Is that something that's broken off? Okay. So this is most likely going to have to come apart then. Right. And side of that, is anything else damaged while we're here? Whatever that is, possibly is. What is that? That shouldn't be there either. What is that for? Where's that come from? Where's that broken off of then? I don't know what that is. It's definitely flapping about. So that's broken. I wonder where that's come from. That might have something to do with some of our problems as well. Okay. Alright, that is interesting though. Let's have a look at the rest of our charging port then as well. All of that does seem to be fairly okay. The Taptic engine is there as well. Alright. So this is going to be much more of a pain in the arse then than I was thinking or hoping initially. Right. So it's possible logic board damage. And definitely looking like components are missing then. That makes a lot of sense. Let's get back to it. It's right there. So that's why my Touch ID isn't working, because I'm missing parts. So there you are. That is definitely time to start separating logic boards. There's definitely something going on down here I'm not happy with. These are either resistors or capacitors or something like that of the SMD type. There's something that looks like it's missing there. Might be wrong. I might be wrong. But it does look like it is missing. I'm not sure I will need to consult the schematic diagrams for that. But aside of that, what you've got going on at the top there, that definitely doesn't look happy. And I'm reckoning that was caused by that shock and that separated layers of that logic board. I think that's what you're looking at. The blue thing there, that's that screw hole down there. I think that should be there. That's fine. In there. I think that's okay. If that blue stuff is gone, it usually means long screw damage. Which is why you've got to be uber careful with these things. So, I think that's how we're doing with that then. The good news is, though, we don't have to replace that connector. That's not broken off by the looks of it. Because those pads still seem intact. If any of that was broken on those connectors, so we subsequently break them, if any of that was broken, we'd be in for a much more complicated repair. If it could even be done. I mean, that is super complicated. Already, the situation I've got pretty much requires me to be buying more machinery, because this microscope is shit anyway. It's only a crap one. And I need something that goes down to a much sharper resolution than this. So I'm going to have a whole fucking world of fun with it. And the costs of what I need, other than that, well, just for the microscope alone is another 500 odd quid. So this is going to be fun. Definitely. Right, now the other things I'm going to need as well is low temperature solder paste and BGA flux paste as well then. Particularly for that make and model of board which I don't have. Because, surprise, surprise, I haven't done any work on these particular phones before. The XS Max is new, to me at least. It's a bit of a shit situation to be in, really, isn't it? Okay. There we are. So that's the XS Max then, under the microscope. There it is. What the back of it looks like under there. That's pretty fucking horrendous. Let's have a look. I can't imagine this looking too nice. The charging coil might be alright. It would be good if I could salvage that for other projects, actually. Although, yeah, looking at what's going on there, I don't know about that, to be honest with you. Is it just grit? Or is it more? Is it grit? Or is it gone to shit? I think. Alright, it's grit. It's actually glass. So more than likely that that charging pad on the back of that's going to be enamelled wire. That might be salvageable for other projects. And all of those flecks that you see there, the microscopic particles of glass. As you can see, we can sort of sweep them away. They do move. I don't really want to do that too much because that's abrasive. Let's just check that camera as well. Yeah, that seems alright. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah, actually, that is kind of damaged, that coil then. Alright, so maybe it is beyond repair. Hence the nasty line going down here, but okay. Right, well, I think that's kind of about that then. That beer's gone. I have no more in that either. So that's my bottlenecking done then. Better finish this. And that's a wrap then, I guess. That's a wrap. But at least now we have a viable way that we're going to deal with this. At least now we sort of know where we're going. It's board separation then. So we're going to need to take that battery down from those tabs under there and pull that battery out. Remove the logic board. Carefully deal with the Face ID and transplant the whole lot into a new casing. That is where our problems are at. I'm pretty sure it's underneath there. Now, is it because of that? Or is it something else that's going on under that board? And what about what we see up there? I'm reckoning potential logic board damage, but there we are. That's what I'm thinking. Now, the other thing I'm going to need to get is a proper PCB cleaner that's rated for these boards, because the stuff I've got is just a little bit too harsh, I think, for that. And I don't really fancy the idea of starting to strip much of those layers off. Got to be careful because the stuff I've got is pretty harsh. So I'm going to need to do more research on that. This is going to be a bit more complicated than I thought. That will be addressed probably in part 3 then. Right, we are. I guess we'll have to pause out and go from part 3. So we'll pause out, close off, wrap it up, and we're done. So there we are. That was just a quick look at the iPhone XS Max under the microscope. And that's done. I'm finishing the rest of this. So I guess it'll be part 3 for that. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. Oh yeah. There's one more thing. It goes like, comment, subscribe. See you soon. Bye.